Hello, world.
Hello, Warners.
How's it going out there, world? Feel free to chime in the comments section. We want to hear from you. But we are here for a purpose this week. Gina, what is our purpose?
Do we have a purpose? We always have a purpose. We thought we would bring you a week of quickie tips. You know, we typically do quickie tips on Wednesdays. Or sporadic, depending on our travels. Sometimes people are in Paris, sometimes people are in Omaha. But this week we are bringing you quickie tips every day, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock. And what we're doing is we are looking at our top episodes so far. I think I've already lost track of what episode we are currently on.
Oh, right? Which one we're on right now?
Like 20? I don't know. Anyway, we're looking at our top episodes this week and kind of doing a little review summary of them on top of like, what else do we want to add to that? Or have we learned since those episodes or feedback that we've gotten from you, our listeners? So we're doing that. And then we're going to tell you about a brand new idea we have called Warner World for people who want to get more of us. And we're adding on, like I said, some new tips about kind of what we have been thinking about since these episodes we're talking about. And at the end, we're going to tell you about Warner World. And that's what we're doing today, Rach. So
officially we have 18 episodes on our site right now.
Fantastic. We've recorded so many. That's why I'm like a little.
We really have recorded. And you guys just stay tuned because there's so many amazing guests coming up that,
oh my God,
that are coming. That's just, I don't even know if I'm more excited about who we've already met with and had a podcast with, or those that are coming up, because we have a lot on deck that's super exciting.
I'm trying to think of who's coming up this week.
I can't tell you, but I'll tell you later.
I think it's someone related to Grant Cardone. It might be this week. I can't remember.
Oh,
anyway,
coming out this week. Yay.
Yeah.
But we're reflecting back to episode 5, where we talked about standing out in sales. And what do you remember about that episode, Gina?
Oh, that was one of my favorite episodes because I had fairy hair. Remember, I was wearing fairy hair.
What is that? I remember, but they don't.
So a little shout out to Bobby Russwinkle and Pigtails and Crew Cuts. I had fairy hair put in my hair to make myself feel better, because remember, how could anybody forget about me breaking my wrist and I couldn't wash my hair, and I started going to Pigtails and Crew Cuts to get my hair washed, and they suggested fairy hair, which they put in my hair. And when I went in for surgery, the nurses were like, what is in your hair? And so it became this thing that it actually fairy hair distracted from my broken wrist. Good thing, bad thing, because I wanted people to be like, poor baby. Instead, they're like, you're beautiful. So you win either way. So we talked about that. And then we got into a whole conversation about BMW umbrellas. Remember that?
I do.
When you buy a BMW, you get an umbrella. Who cares? But men care.
I think women care too, because when I had a discussion about this situation with the few people that brought that whole thing up, there was a woman there also, and she said when she bought her vehicle, which I think it also was a BMW, and she didn't want the umbrella, so they took her like into a prize area where she could choose something else, and I think maybe she got a Yeti or something.
I do have to confess that I have a BMW. I should have brought it with me. I have a BMW like thermos that I got at a BMW diversity supplier diversity conference that they do every year, where you get a lot of swag. That was one of my swag. And I don't have a BMW, but I carry that thing with me when I'm traveling.
Is it a conversation starter? Does it start conversations?
Not yet, because there's something else that starts conversations while I travel. We'll talk about that.
Okay. Well, but you do carry your bag. And so your bag, I remember in this episode, we did talk about your bag being, kind of a status symbol and a thing. And
my Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing for me. But it's more of a psychological thing, because growing up, and I know one of my friends, Sheila Marie, who listens to us, who I went to high school and grades. Did you go to grade school? I can't remember. She actually made a comment about going to that same high school where everybody had a Louis Vuitton purse, and you're like, I want a Louis Vuitton purse, but I'm not rich like all these other Italian girls. So I waited a really long time to buy one because it was like a whole childhood trauma thing. I wanted to be a cool kid.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anybody like from high school could see me carrying it, but.
So then you wanted to fit in rather than stand out.
Oh.
Interesting.
Who needs therapy when I have you?
I need therapy all the time.
But there is something about the status in it, right? I think we all want to appear successful, and that, you know, when you can buy something that expensive, be it a BMW or a Louis Vuitton, you know, you feel like you have arrived, and that shows success. I'd love to say that we can all be like super happy with who we are as is, and we don't need any of those things, but let's be real.
Yeah, but it's human. I think it's human nature to want to stand out. I mean, okay, so now we're getting into the thick of things. So standing out for some people is uncomfortable. Like, take my daughter, for example. She doesn't necessarily want to stand out and be called out, yet she does want to stand out and be unique. Like and that's just getting down to the dichotomy of human nature that, you know, we want to stand out, but then sometimes we're a little bit afraid to stand out because then we're different from everybody else. So, you know, in terms of business, me personally, I like to stand out as much as possible because you can, like, you know, spit and hit a realtor in this town and most towns. Like, so we have to work to differentiate ourselves in the marketplace of how am I different? How can I serve you better? What is my knowledge that can help assist you better? And one thing that I do obviously a lot of is video, because there's not a lot of people that are maybe courageous enough to just go ahead and get in front of the camera. I do a lot of video work and I've gotten pretty good at editing, but I'm also not afraid of being in front of the camera. I don't care if I mess up. I can redo it. If it's alive, then who cares?
Who cares?
You know, it's really, you know, everybody's scrolling. It doesn't really matter, but it is a way for people to stand out. And that's really in any form of business. When people are on Facebook, especially, video is what helps you stand out because people are scrolling. Oh, it's that video. And they'll watch it.
Well, that's a really good point. And I know that part of what we're doing this week with these quickie tips, you know, we're going to do like 20 minutes of these each day. Video is such a big thing. And I know I'm like not, I mean, we know I'm dragging my feet on a video I need to get done for my spontaneous selling. Now, it's not just because I don't like to watch myself on video. I mean, I have been a little busy. That's a really good excuse. But the bottom line is the majority of people are not comfortable being on video or seeing themselves on video. And it's mostly because they're not comfortable seeing themselves on video. Like, for a while, it took me a long time to get used to hearing my voice on a podcast. Now I'm like, hey, I sound good. Because I've done it enough. So I think if you start practicing that, doing those things that help you stand out, even though it doesn't make you comfortable. I'm getting more and more comfortable. Like, I'm not uncomfortable doing video. I just don't want to watch myself.
Right.
But I kind of have to watch myself for editing purposes, right?
Well, and you watch yourself to get better. And my, you know, first career was in show business. And back in the day, back when in VCR days,
what's a VCR?
It's like a thing that you put in a machine and it plays video. But we didn't have the luxury of seeing our shows all the time and being able to look at it and make corrections to what was happening on stage, or learn through videos and rehearsals. And now it's, you know, you can film so easily. And I think, like, some of the shows that I've been involved in, they film almost every show or a lot of the shows, and then you can look at it and improve upon it. And so I hate watching myself on video on stage. I'm like, nah, it's not so good. But I've gotten more used to it because, and the same with my video on social media, you can't improve upon it if you don't look truthfully at what needs improved. And honestly, instead of just being like, oh God, I look terrible, or I look fat, or oh God, I really screwed up, just just look at it and go, okay, so that wasn't so good. How can I fix it next time?
Yeah.
You know, how can I improve upon it?
And meanwhile, you can stand out by being a complete fool filled with mistakes on video. I mean, you could stand out. I mean, you might not stand out well, unless you're self-deprecating enough, which I'm queen of. Then you know,
want to be the queen of though.
I don't want to be queen of it, but I am, and I embrace it that I can utilize it to my advantage for being real, right?
Yeah.
Like here I am, just screwed that up. Oops.
Right. Well, and honestly, that is one thing that, so, and I have spoken on a few panels with realtors about doing video and encourage people, don't be afraid, because when you're like, hello, my name is Rachel Pitts with Beach Realty Group, and I am here to serve you. Like, people can tell when it's BS.
I think we talked about this on that episode. We're like, hello.
Oh yeah,
my realtor pose.
Let me see if I can put my back to you. There we go. And, you know, for some people that don't, you know, and I'm not downing anybody who has a back-to-back real estate photo. It's sometimes you just don't know what to do with yourself in a photo. And that feels like a professional pose. And if that feels like a professional pose to you and it feels authentic, fabulous. For me, doesn't feel. There's only one pose that I can do in pictures.
Although I hear what you're saying, and you have to think about your audience. So you have to think about, how do I stand out, but how do I attract my audience with how I stand out? You know, because we're talking about it, to use the example of I don't even like the way I look on video doing that. But anyway, that stance of like, I'm authority and all knowing. Do your clients want to work with that? Maybe they do, but you have to think about what are you putting out there and who do you want to attract?
Right.
Like, I thought, you know, for the longest time, I tried to be as super professional image-wise as possible from a trainer perspective. But then I started attracting
boring
people I didn't want to work with, people that didn't get it, people that were a pain in the ass. The second I started kind of like letting loose a little bit, the clientele changed. Right. So are you standing out in what's true to you, but is also a little bit unique from everybody else? What's your competition doing?
Right.
You know, like Niaje, who I think she's watching. I know she was reacting to us. Like, you know, how do you miss her? Like Niaje Wallace, you guys have to go like look her up. But I mean, like, she's freaking gorgeous.
Yes.
Right. She's gorgeous. And she rocks this purple hair. Like, she really rocks it. But even like, if you took, like, she's just beautiful.
But the other thing that she does that I noticed about her long ago is she wears white. So when she goes anywhere, she has this beautiful dark skin, this purple hair, and she wears white. And
so impressive, because I'm like, oh girl, I don't want to wear white. I don't want you to see my booty.
The branding. And I think she told me when I first was speaking to her, and I meant to ask her about this in one of the times that we've done podcasts together, that she just started, that just came about because she was doing a lot of video and doing a lot of live. She does a lot of live Facebook stuff. And she was trying to start, she didn't want to wear the same shirt every day. And then it was too hard to figure out what to wear. So she just started wearing white. And now she has this whole wardrobe of beautiful white stuff. And like, she went to, I think, Grant Cardone's 10X conference, and she wore this white. She said everybody was just attracted to her because of her intentional, but really somewhat unintentional branding. That's just, it's perfect. And it's especially but it's also true to her.
Yeah, and it's also the contrast, right? She's got very dark skin with against the white, right? Like, so it stands out.
Yeah,
that's the point. What are you doing to stand out? And you don't have to stand out in your clothes necessarily, or your hair, or your makeup, although that does have advantages. But what things can you do to stand out? So I was thinking about this. Hold on, I wrote down some tips. Some of my tips since we've done that episode were, first, it starts out with being like really self-aware. Like, are you aware of what your talents are, your strengths are? Do you pay attention to it? A lot of times we don't pay attention to it. We take it for granted. So that means you have to also be willing to listen to what people say or the feedback that they give you about you. You have to ask people for feedback. How do you perceive me? Because perception is a reality, right? Like I see myself a certain way, but sometimes people see things in me that I don't. It's not that I don't see them. I don't see the value that others see. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
So
in ourselves.
So you need to realize like how your audience sees you. It took me a long time to like become confident with, and I know we're going to talk about the pussy book again because we seem to like Regina should just come on the show already. Mama Gina, Thomas
Tell
Shower.
everybody who's watching what that is because they'll be like, whoa.
Yeah. Okay. So if you haven't heard us talk about the pussy book, it's called Pussy, a Reclamation, which Keith Walters of all people made us read. It will move you into really owning who you are as a woman. So not so much for you guys, for the men, but for women. It really has given me so much reflection to think about who I am, honoring myself, appreciating who I am, seeing what my value is, not measuring my value against what other people say. However, I still want to take that feedback from how people see me and leverage it.
Yeah.
How do I leverage what people see as like a unique selling proposition? So one of my newest things that I've realized, I don't like the way I look in glasses at all, but for some reason it attracts people. It gets attention. Don't know why, but it does. And I've gotten a lot of comments, and I don't wear my glasses that often. I wear them when my allergies are really kicking in, which they were the other night when Carolina Improv had a show at the Jazz Club and someone was clearly loving my glasses.
Tell us more about that.
I mean, somebody who works there who just met me a million times was like, hey. I'm like
those glasses.
It's like those glasses. And I'm like, okay.
Glasses do things to people. All right, you guys can take a vote. Do we look better in our glasses? Hold on. I'm trying to. When I was a young kid, everybody in my family wears glasses, and I did not wear glasses until my 40s. I hit my 40, like literally when I turned 40, I was like, I can't see. And I almost, if I'm looking at my computer screen, aside from you guys, because I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe I should wear my glasses, but I need my glasses. And when I was a kid, I always wanted to have glasses like the rest of my family so I'd look smarter. I don't know.
Well, I was told the other night, because I actually asked about it, because it's not the first time lately that someone has made paid attention to me. Let's put it that way. Paid attention to me because of my glasses. So I said to him, I go, all right. I asked for the feedback. I'm like, what is it about these glasses? I'm like, because I'll keep wearing them.
Says she likes the glasses. All right, glasses on.
Fantastic. For both of us, Jessica, is it for both of us? I mean, or just one of us? I mean, what do you think? You
got like a little 50s vibe going on.
Yeah, I like the cat eye looks best on me. Trust me, I have 4 pairs of glasses. And these are my see far away glasses. So I actually can't wear them when I'm on screen because they're for far away.
I just got mine when I figured out how much freaking glasses cost. I was like, there needs to be sparkles. If I'm paying this much money for glasses, I need some freaking sparkles.
I have a tip for you on where to get glasses affordably, but that's a
whole nother hack. We'll have
maybe I'll put that in Warner World for people who join Warner World. There's a little hint. So those were my tips on since we did that episode 5 on standing out. Some of the things that have come to me since that episode is really how important self-awareness is of like, what's your secret sauce? What are you great at? And then asking for feedback from people like I did with the glasses. I'm like, why do you like these glasses? Because I'll keep wearing them.
Yeah, totally.
So I was saying the only time I wear glasses is when my allergies are kicking in and I'm like rubbing my eyes so bad, or I have to get up at 4 a.m. for a flight. And my eyes really do hurt putting in my contacts. And I'm like, who cares what I look like right now? Which is not a good idea either, because you never know who you're going to meet on a plane.
Yeah, true. Well, and going back to what you just said of like, who cares what I look like? Well, the fact of the matter is we all care what we look like. Even, there's days when we don't care and we're like, F it, but what you look like matters. And so in all of this standing out, you need to figure out what makes you feel good so that you can stand out as your authentic self. So when I first started real estate, I thought I needed to wear business suits, and that was what it took to look professional. And so my oldest sister, had a handful of business suits that she wore when she worked at a bank, and I was like, score. Meanwhile, they were like 1993, they were killing it in 1993 or whatever. And I just didn't feel right in them. Now there's one that's cute, and it's kind of, I feel like a vintage flight attendant, and it's cute, so I feel good in it. But other than that, I just didn't feel. I felt like an imposter in these stuffy business suits. So now, over time, and also after reading a book called Alter Ego, which is a really great book to read, to explore what you really feel good in. And what I have found is that I've started developing this little signature style of dresses that I like to order from Stop Staring. And they're kind of like Betty Page, like 40s-esque dresses that, number one, I mean, I had a lifetime in show business, so my body I like to take care of, And so they're not trashy, they're not unprofessional, but they have a touch of sexiness in them that makes me feel good. And all the women love them. Every time I wear these dresses, women love them. Men probably love them. But,
I mean, I'm not a man, and I'm like, whoa. Hey,
right.
Rachel.
And so it's the wow factor. And because I do. And, I've just figured it out. It's taken me some time to figure out what looks good and what feels good. So when I put on one of these dresses, and now I've started wearing, my friend Stacey Witten makes these little flowers. So I have this little thing I've been doing lately.
I love it when you wear those on our videos.
You. And it's just a matter of figuring out, it's like your activation of your superpower, right? So I went to see the Avengers last night, and all of them, like when they're about to do something, they're like, and the thing comes over and their outfit shows up.
What do they do?
They go like, and then they're like, and they're like, and they're ready. Well, you have to see. That's for the guys too, because like Captain America, yeah, you should go see it just for Captain America is hot.
Okay,
yeah, hot.
I like to look at hot men.
Well, he's supposed to be. He's like Captain America. But anyways, so when they activate their superpowers, then that's when they're really turned on and ready to do their thing. And so the author of the Alter Ego talks about this too, that, you have to really be your authentic self, and whatever that takes. It might be a baseball cap. It might be a business suit, but you got to figure out what that is, because if you show up feeling like you're wearing your superhero costume, then you're going to be your best.
Yeah, I think you really need to figure out what is that thing, right? What's that thing that's going to help? Like for me, lipstick. I have to show up with lipstick, but now I want one of these things that you have. Like we should have like,
I think I have another one.
Yeah, this way we can wear them together since we're partners. That would be cute.
But your authentic self.
Yeah. I find the thing that makes you stand out, makes you unique in what you're doing, makes you unique in your business, and own that. I think those are our tips. My other thing said, know your secret sauce, which is kind of the same thing. Know what your thing is. Know what you rock. So this week coming up ahead, we've got a lot going on every day. We're going to do this kind of little short kind of get together at 1:00 Eastern, highlighting, showcasing our top episodes of Women Your Mother Warned You About, what you can expect coming up. We'll tell you that in a minute. But what we do need to tell you is, drum roll, please. Welcome to Warner World. So we're excited. We're going to launch what are we calling it? It's a private group for our followers. It's a subscription. to get more of us, and there's a lot of us to get, but we've been getting asked that. We've been getting asked like what else you can do to spend more time with us. So we've created Warner World. We're launching it next week on Monday. And every day this week, we're kind of giving you kind of like what it would be like to be hanging out with us. And Rachel, I got to pull it up. What are we offering?
I wrote it down because we can't remember. I'll wear my glasses for it. So we're going to do a weekly Facebook Live that answers your questions. So when you're in Warner World, this will be exclusive to Warner World, that will go live and we'll answer questions on pretty much any topic. We might set a topic and discuss kind of like this, and maybe you would have specific questions about what can you do to stand out. You're having trouble figuring out what, floats your boat in terms of your image and what you're doing to stand out. There'll be a monthly webinar for our members and also some live coaching. And Gina's got a special program that will be a special bonus gift when you enter Warner World.
Yeah, so we're going to have some bonus items, because one of the things that we decided was all the great things that we both, when I talk about secret sauce, when we like really brainstorm this out, it's like, what could we give them? What could we give them? And we really kind of had to sit down and be like, oh my God, we have all these amazing things that we can give them, between Rachel's health and wellness background and my sales and business background. What you'll get with me is my Spontaneous Selling 1.0 program, which is a video training series. It's 10 short videos on how to use improv in selling, and it really translates into every part of your life. So that's a new program that we just launched. It's $49, but we're throwing that in as a bonus for you. And then Rachel, what do you got?
Well, as some of you guys know, I had a long fitness career, and I've got a couple of programs that I'd like to roll out for you guys, especially for people who are having trouble getting started in fitness. Because that, if you're like sitting there going, oh, I need to get in shape, but it's intimidating. So the first is a 5-day kickstart, and it's very simple. We're talking like 10 or 15 minutes that you will have these just introduction to fitness and getting you in the habit, which is really the hardest thing, followed by a 10-day accelerator series that ramps it up just a little bit. But keep in mind, this is all very simple and manageable, because that's why I created them, so that people wouldn't be intimidated, because that is just, it can really be intimidating to go to the gym and just like, what do I do? So this is a great little kickstart for you guys. And I love the fact that we figured out to rope in my fitness background into this, because I do love helping people with that aspect of their life. And I think there's a big, huge tie-in between fitness, wellness, and productivity in business.
Well, and I think the other thing that we've noticed, like we need that, right? We need to be healthy. Just being partners with you. I'm back on the wagon. You'd be proud of me this morning. I was hitting it. I was doing my intervals. I was kicking ass on the treadmill this morning with my HIIT. So, you just feel so much better. Like I got up at 5:30. I worked out. I got my day set. I have so much energy. And I think adding that into what we're doing in Warner World is going to be super helpful for people. So that's pretty exciting. I know that one of the other things we kind of talked about, I don't want to make any promises, but we did kind of like brainstorm. Be ready. We did brainstorm this. Rachel's going to kill me. Like, you don't know. Maybe there'll be some live Facebook Live working out sessions. You don't know.
Yeah, no, we did talk about that.
Yeah, that could happen. So you'll get all those bonus items with us. And so you have a 5-day and you have a 10-day, right?
Right. Yep.
On those videos. And I forget what the value came to that, but a lot of money. It's worth a lot
for the 5-day and $100 for the 10 days.
Okay, so
you're $200 worth of bonoses.
$200 worth of bonuses, and our program is going to be $20 a month on a subscription. Super easy, affordable. We think to kind of hang out with us and get tips from us and education and content from us. That is going to be more than the podcast and more than the Quickie tips. And plus, you get to hang out with other Warners. So there's always value in community. So I think that's a really big deal. So that's coming up. That'll open next week. We do, to kind of entice you to get some early adopters before we open the shopping cart for that, is we're going to give away some like free one-on-one coaching time with Rachel and I. So that's kind of like a enter to win. And what do you need to do? You just need to like message us, like put my name on the list to win. Of course, you're going to have to join Warner World next week, but send us your information, your name, your email address. A lot of you have access to us that you can just message us through Facebook, or you can email us. It goes to both of us at women@womenyourmotherwarnedyouabout.com. Send us your info and we'll put you on the list for that exciting bonus to hang out with us.
Yay! So more to come this week, and go back and listen to episode 5 on standing out in business, and looking forward to our upcoming episode on Thursday of this week.
Yeah, so a couple things. So speaking of the what's coming up this week, let me find my notes here. Where did I put all my notes? Okay, so another reason why we put the fitness in this is because our episodes on beauty and bullying with Paige Spiranak and our episode with Caitlin on body image and business image, those were 2 of our top listened to shows. And so obviously beauty and health is really, really important. So we're going to be talking about that this week on these little quickie tips at 1:00. We're going to be talking about, we're going to review what we learned from Anthony and Reno on cold calling. Changed my mind there. So we're going to recap that episode with that amazing sales expert. We are going to look at what else? Oh, my favorite topic, trolls.
It is your favorite topic.
It is I'm going to create a class around that.
You should.
Because it's ongoing that I'm continuing to correct these people on LinkedIn, especially. So I may have to like read some of my newest responses to the trolls. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to be mean. So we have all of that coming up this week. There's Audrey in the background. Hey, Audrey the cat. We'll talk about fueling outside sales with Steve Benson. That was a really great episode. And then coming out this week for this week's show podcast episode, I've already forgot what it is. Did you look it up?
For this week?
Yeah.
I didn't look up this week.
What's launching this week?
I'm not sure. It's a surprise.
Hold on. I think I can find it.
That's how I don't know. I don't really know how to find out what's coming up.
Hold on. I can tell you. We have so much going on. We can't.
Audrey was going to come visit us.
We can't keep track. Oh, it is. It's our episode with Jared Glant from Grant Cardone's organization. So it's our episode on 10x your sales. 10x your sales is this week's episode.
Yeah, I was
coming out
myself with excitement.
Yeah, that was such a great episode. Oh my gosh.
The thing is what it turned into. So it actually there was a lot of like relationship advice from a busy man in business. It was it was interesting what it turned into. And of course he's Grant Cardone's right-hand man, and he's just brilliant. And it was a great, great episode.
I think like especially men and women need to be listening, but men especially as well, because he really kind of gives his 2 cents on being a dad and a husband and trying to make it all work. And it was really eye-opening, and it made me kind of look at things differently. So that's a lot going on this week. We're going to be back tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern, and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
I hope we don't run out of things to say.
I don't know. This was only supposed to be 15 minutes and we're 35 minutes in.
So. Oh, I got to go.
We got to go. We got things to do, right?
Have a great day, y'all.
Everybody have an awesome rest of the day. Go crush it. We will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you, Rachel.
Love you, Gina. Bye.